Woke up to the sound of a digital chime. A voice called out from somewhere in time. Kevin's words weave like an old-time friend. Podcast tales that never seem to end. Coffee curls its steam up through the air. Mornings like these without a care. Stories blend with a percolating brew. Kevin's musing's always something new. Morning brew with Kevin on the line. Sipping slow and losing track of time. The world unfolds in our little ear. Podcast wisdom crystal clear. Speaks of dreams and faded lace, of city lights and a quiet place. Faces through the earbuds, vivid scenes. Life's tapestry through encrypted memes. Kevin's voice, it's a morning hymn. Sunrise sermons on a whim. In the silence of our crowded minds, his tales like ancient hidden signs. First cup's gone, but the stories flow. Caffeine buzz in the early glow. Listeners caught in a reverie. Morning magic through the frequency.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to a new episode of Morning Coffee with Kevin. I'm your host, Kevin Peterson. Hey, everybody. I hope everybody has been doing well. We were away there for a little bit, but we're back. And today on the show, I'm not gonna wait around. I'm gonna get right into this because I'm very excited about this. I hope you're going to be as excited as I am, but I want to get right into the show and talk about Ashworth and Peterson. Now, some of you may know who Ashworth and Peterson is, and others may be going, something new. Well, really, I wouldn't say it's too new. It's a project that's kind of been in the works for a very long time. And let me just say that the Ashworth and Peterson band recordings are being done here at Manila Dawn Records, and that's another reason why I want to talk about this on the show today. We are recording the album, Ashworth and Peterson, here at Manila Dawn Records, and we're really just having a blast doing this. So let's just go back to the very beginning, I guess, and talk about, what started this and where it all came from. And forgive me if my memory is not as good as it used to be. I may pause here and there trying to figure out, what I'm talking about here. But I got together with a longtime friend, Jeff Ashworth, and this was back before COVID. So, it's been some time back, but this was back before COVID. And, we were working on, I say working on, we were in the planning stages of putting some kind of project together. And then COVID hit. And when COVID hit, we all had to stay at home. We were on lockdown. Nobody knew what the hell COVID really was. It was kind of scary, I guess. So being at home, myself and Jeff had decided to put a project together, something that we had been talking about. And Jeff's idea of a project was he wanted to take some songs that, and I say songs, he wanted to take some lyrics that I had written. And I don't know if most of you know or not, but not only am I a producer, a recording engineer, kind of, a master of many different things in this industry, but I have become a lyricist. Now, you might ask, how do you become a lyricist? Well, for years now, I've been writing lyrics, I've been writing screenplays, I've been writing short stories. And, it wasn't until COVID when I realized that my writings were really worthy of being seen. And I think a lot of writers go through this where they write stuff and then they don't show it to nobody because they're like, oh, I'm not worthy, it's not good enough. And, I think you just need that push from somebody to say, hey, this is good. We could do something with this. And really, that's what kind of happened with me. And I shared some of my writings, some of my lyrics that I had written, some of my short stories I had shared with Jeff Ashworth. And he said, I like your lyrics. He goes, how many songs have you written? And I was, I don't know, I've got like 25 or 30. And he's like, well, let me see them. So long story short, we took a bunch of the lyrics that I had written and some that I was currently working on at the time, and we came up with about 18 songs, and we created pretty much a full album. And at the end of creating this full album, which I was really excited about because, I had written every song on the album. I even played instruments on some of the tracks, not all of them, but some of them. And Jeff and his family, his band, did the rest. And we came up with an incredible album. Well, this album became the Kevin Peterson Band. And it wasn't until the project was finished that Jeff said, hey, listen, you're a great engineer, you're a great producer, you're a great lyricist. You need to have your own band. And I was like, no, that's never really been my thing. Well, these guys basically forced me. If you can force somebody to start a band. They forced me basically into taking the name for the project, the Kevin Peterson Band, and that's how the Kevin Peterson Band was formed. And we've been sitting on all of that material for some time now, and I want to get into that in a later episode. and talk about the release of the Kevin Peterson Band. It's our debut album. It's called Electric Nightmares, and I'm very excited about that. But that's not what today's show is about. So getting back, we had written all this stuff, we had recorded all this stuff, and we came up with a name for the project, and voila, the Kevin Peterson Band was formed. And so we went through COVID, and we worked on some projects for me, we worked on some projects for Jeff personally, and the stuff that we had worked on for Jeff, it was kind of like my project, and we had put it together, but it never got released. It never just came together like we had hoped for. And just recently, myself and Jeff Ashworth had put together a project called the Ashworth and Peterson Band. And it is a collaboration of lyric writing. There are some songs on the album which were written by me. There's other songs that were just written by Jeff, and there's a collection of songs on this album that were written in collaboration. The two of us had wrote the songs together and arranged them. So, I really, didn't really know where Jeff was going to go with this project, but he's getting ready to release it, and he wants me to do the mixing, the mastering, and all that, preparing it, getting it ready to release. And we have released, to date, we have released our first single, which is called Leaving Barstow. Now, Leaving Barstow is a very simple song. It's an acoustic piece, kind of folk, kind of a folky kind of feel to it. Jeff was influenced by Peter, Paul, and Mary, that folk era of the 60s. And he was really into that kind of music. So it kind of resembles that style of music. And Leaving Barstow was performed by Jeff. He did the guitars, he played the drums. It's pretty much just that simple. And the lyrics were written by me. And I just never in my mind have I ever thought that these writings that it would ever go anywhere, that they would ever become something. And now that I'm seeing it coming together and it's becoming a reality, it's the comprehension of it is just hard for me. I don't know why. I guess I just never saw myself as a lyricist. But Leaving Barstow is our first single from the album, which is going to be titled Sacred Songs. It's the Ashworth and Peterson Band, Sacred Songs. It's going to be available through the Manila Dawn record label. So I'm also very excited about that. I feel privileged that he would allow me to release his record. We are a small label. We're not a huge label, so he could have gone somewhere else, and I really appreciate the fact, Jeff, that you've allowed me to release this project on my label. So thank you very much. But Leaving Barstow is now available on YouTube, and you can search Ashworth and Peterson Official. That's Ashworth and Peterson Official, and that's on YouTube. And our first single, Leaving Barstow, is on the Ashworth and Peterson page there. And in a couple days, we're going to have another single ready to release. And I think we've got maybe 3 songs off this album that are going to be singles, and the rest of them are just going to be exclusive to the LP. But I'm very, very excited about this. So I look forward to having this album available to the public, hopefully by January. I'm thinking maybe even late December, but we get into the holidays and it makes things a little difficult. Things kind of slow down during the holidays, at least for me, at the record company, and with film production and everything. It just really starts to kind of slow down. But I'm very, very excited about all this, and that is why I was wanting to get this podcast done today and get it out to the public. I'm just really excited about this, and it's like I said, it's a collaboration of writing and arranging that was done by Jeff Ashworth and myself. And there's also songs on the album that were just exclusively written by Jeff and arranged by Jeff. And Jeff is a phenomenal guitar player. If you ever get the chance to listen to my album, Electric Nightmares, all of the guitar work on there is Jeff. Every bit of it. The rhythm guitar, the lead guitar, he played everything. He did everything in the studio. And we even had Jeff's wife sing on my album. She did a track on my album. So the whole family is just multi-talented, great musicians, great people. So it's been really fun working on these projects. But the Ashworth and Peterson project, like I said, I'm just really, really excited about this because there are some songs on there that I exclusively wrote, and honestly, I'm really proud of them. It's my first attempt at writing lyrics, basically, and in my life, I've always been an engineer. I've always made other people sound good. I've always worked to arrange stuff for other people, but never for myself. And why? I don't know. I don't know why I never took that step. I guess I was just too busy with everything else going on. But anyways, that's really all I've got to say about those two projects. I will be discussing the Kevin Peterson Band release in an upcoming episode, and I will go more into detail about that project. But again, like I said, today I wanted to discuss the Ashworth and Peterson Band project. And like I said, we've got the first single out. It's called Leaving Barstow. You can find it currently on YouTube, and eventually it's going to be available anywhere and everywhere you listen to and download music. There will be physical copies of the single available shortly. I don't have an exact date yet, so when I do, I will let you know if anybody wants to purchase a CD. And like I said, the album should be out in late December, possibly the first part of January. I am not quite sure on that yet. Like I said, I really slowed down during the month of December, and things really don't pick back up really for the studio until probably about mid-January, I guess. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens because I do have so many projects going. But anyways, the other thing I wanted to talk about is my health. All of you, or most of you, know that I came out on the one of the podcasts recently, and I had mentioned that I had to have surgery. I mentioned that I had cancer. I am healing from the surgery, and I am feeling much more like my old self, and I'm really feeling better. Some of you have emailed and just asked, "Hey, Kevin, how are you? Do you need anything?" And I just want my listeners to know that I so greatly appreciate you and love you, and it just means so much to me. All of the kind words that everybody has sent, and just just all of the nice things that everybody has had to say. But to answer everybody's question, I am feeling much better. I'm starting to kind of feel like my old self again. I went to the doctor the other day, and the doctor was very surprised at what he saw and what he found. And he told me that he didn't want to see me for another couple months. And I said, well, is that normal? Or, do you usually see people sooner? And he says, well, to tell you the truth, I usually see people much sooner than just 2 months. He goes, but your recovery and where you're at with things is awesome. Everything's great. So I'm recovering. I'm doing really well. And like I said, I just appreciate all the nice things that people have had to say and all of the emails. I really appreciate it. But that's really about it for today, folks. I've got a busy schedule. I've just got so many projects going on. Film projects, which that's something else I want to talk to you about in some upcoming episodes. But for now, I'm just going to keep those projects to myself. But I do have some interesting projects coming up under the Electric Llama Films brand. The Manila Dawn Films brand is still in business. We're still working. We've got a lot of projects going on, and I know I really haven't talked a lot about that lately. And while I'm thinking about it, in the next episode, I want to talk about the new YouTube channel that we've created for all of our nature films, all of the ASMR projects. And I'm very excited about that. It will be debuting on YouTube February 15th, I believe it is. I could be wrong on that date, but I believe it's February 15th of 2025. So we still got some time before that channel will be up and running. It's going to have all of the old videos that were on the Manila Dawn Records page, and I'm trying to clean that page up, and that's why we've created a separate page just for these videos. But it's going to be really interesting because all of the old ASMR nature videos are going to be over there, along with about somewhere in the ballpark of probably 100 new videos. Yeah, you heard me right. 100 new videos. I'm telling you, I really punish myself when it comes to work. I just work. Even after everything I've been through, I've just really been working my tail off to put some new material together for you, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. And speaking of putting material together, the podcast page on YouTube is, I'm gaining listeners. I've got a lot of people that tune in and listen, but I don't have a lot of subscribers. I don't understand, folks, why you're not subscribing. This will only benefit my page, help it to grow. It will allow me to bring even additional content to you. Please, I ask all of you that tune in to the podcast, please take a minute to subscribe. Hit the bell icon and click on all. This way, you're notified of anything that happens on this page. Give us a thumbs up, give us a thumbs down. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Reach out. Leave me an email. I really don't understand why people aren't subscribing. You're tuning in, you're listening, but you're not subscribing. I just don't get it. So I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining, okay? I just wish that I had, more people wanting to subscribe to the channel. Anyways, enough is enough. You're probably tired of listening to me. I'm going to let you go for the day. Be good to yourself. Be good to a neighbor. Be good to a stranger. Peace. I love you all. We'll see you soon. You've been listening to Morning Coffee with Kevin, and I'm your host, Kevin Peterson. Have a great day, folks.